Welcome back, LHS, to your Blue Devil News. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Elena. This past week, Lebanon FFA chapter attended the state FFA convention. Here are a few highlights.
The Agriculture Communications team was the state runner-up. The Meat Evaluations team placed 6th, and the Milk and Quality Products team placed 8th.
Samantha Barnes won the William H. Cawley Scholarship Award and the FFA Quiz Bowl team's state winner.
Our chapter was also awarded the State Superior Chapter, with 100% membership in the Gold Plow Award.
Blue Devils Boutique will have its spring sale on April 3rd through 4th during lunchtime and is the last of this school year. It will be located in the hall in front of the cafeteria and the bank.
We will be selling stylish, new, and gently used clothing from area boutiques and accessories for men and women. Prices are from $1 to $12. Cash only, no credit cards will be accepted, and all proceeds will go towards the class accounts.
Are you missing a coat or sweatshirt? Several were turned into Lost and Found this week. If you are missing anything, please stop by A100 to see if it's there. All juniors will take the ACT next week on April 2nd. All 9th and 10th graders will take the practice ACT test on this day. Calculators will not be provided for 9th through 10th grade testing. Your testing room numbers will be posted on the lunchroom doors. Here is a video to help you better manage the ACT.
Hey guys, in this video we're going to cover 3 ways to increase your ACT reading score to a 36. I'm Paul Novak, I'm the founder of Iris Reading, and if you're not already familiar with the work that we do, we teach speed reading and memorization techniques to students and professionals, and we do these courses online and in person. In this video we're going to cover a strategy for approaching the ACT reading test, and what we don't want is a situation like this, where we've got 5 minutes left in the exam and we start rushing. We haven't gotten to the last passage, and we end up maybe guessing. A lot of people run out of time on these kind of tests. They're meant to be challenging. So, the problem. Most people, what they do is they read the entire passage, they get to question 1, they can't remember the answer, then they try to search for the answer. Now, keep in mind, some of these passages are sometimes inherently just boring. So you might be reading the passage, your mind wanders off, and you lose focus, and then you need to go back more often, and it takes up precious time. So I want to suggest a 3-step strategy that I think you'll find very, very helpful that most people are not doing. The first step is read the first sentence of each paragraph. Why? What's the first sentence? It's usually the main idea. It's not always the main idea, but I'd say for most types of writing, 80–90% of the time, the first sentence will be the topic sentence, the main idea. So by reading the first sentence of each paragraph, initially, you're getting all the main points, the gist of what the passage is going to be about. Then you move on to step number 2, which is read all the questions. Now, some of you might already be doing this, but by reading the questions, you get some additional clues about what the passage is going to be about. Now, do not read the answer choices. This is a big mistake, because at this point, you're probably not going to be able to answer any of them just yet, and it takes up too much time. So just read the questions so you can get the gist of the passage, get some more clues. Now, keep in mind, some questions will give you useful information, and some questions might not give you that much of a clue of what the passage is about. For example, this one right here, as used in line 4, the word dissembled that doesn't tell you much about the passage. But there are other questions that will. So we read all the questions after we've read the first sentence of each paragraph, and now we're going to read the whole passage. So this is a 3-step process. What do you think is going to happen to your reading speed as you're reading this entire passage? I'll bet you read it faster than usual. Why? Because you read all the first sentences earlier. You got the main points. You read all the questions. You really know what this passage is going to be about in a general sense, so you can fly through it and get the details more quickly, and most importantly, you'll be able to remember this better, because this is now your 3rd exposure to the material. How do you remember things? Through repetition, right? 3 pieces of repetition. You've been through the material 3 times. That will help you to retain the information a little better. Now, just to recap, you're reading the first sentences, you're reading the questions, and then you're reading the whole passage, and of course then trying to answer the questions. This is a much better approach than just starting from the beginning of the passage and going all the way to the end, and then hoping that you retain the information. Now, how would we go about practicing the strategy? This is another point where people run into issues. They try practicing the entire 35-minute test. There's 40 questions. That's a grueling process, right? After 35 minutes, how do you feel? Sometimes you feel a little exhausted from just practicing for that time frame. And you might find after 35 minutes, you didn't even finish the test in time. You had to guess on maybe the last few questions. So I want to suggest a different way of practicing that I think you'll find more helpful. Let's think about the structure. You have 40 questions. You have 35 minutes. And you have 4 passages. And there's an equal amount of questions per passage in the ACT reading test. You've got 10 questions per passage. So we need to figure out how much total time, and basically all we're doing here is taking 35 minutes divided by 4, and you get a magic number of 8 minutes and 45 seconds. This is your goal per passage and question. So instead of practicing the entire 35-minute test, what I suggest you do initially when you're preparing for this test is you start off doing these mini practices of 8:45. 8 minutes, 45 seconds. Put it on the clock, use the timer on your phone or some other timer. See if you could just finish one passage with the 10 questions. And it's also important to track your progress while you're doing it. So you want to see if you could finish in 8:45. Well, on day number 1, you might try this out, and you might initially find yourself not doing it in time. Maybe you're taking 11 minutes and 27 seconds. Hey, you know what? That's not fast enough, but at least you know that after doing a quick 11 minutes or so of practice. And then, of course, you check your score. How'd you do? You try this again. Now, you might try this again the same day or on another day. And maybe this time you spend a little less time. That's progress right there. 10 minutes instead of the 11 earlier. Maybe you got the same score. You try this again, maybe the same day or the next day. And notice how little by little, now I'm just giving examples of tracking your progress here. Yours might fluctuate, but over time you'll find these numbers coming down. Obviously, that's your goal, to get closer to 8 minutes and 45 seconds. And of course, the other goal is trying to boost your score. Little by little, you'll find yourself better able to get through the test. Once you start finding these kind of numbers where you're finishing each passage in less than 8 minutes and 45 seconds, that means it's now time to practice the entire 35-minute test. So at that point, you would put 35 minutes on the clock. Let me see if I could get through all 40 questions, and let me test myself out. You try it one day, you try it another day, you try it the next day, and little by little you'll find yourself scoring better and better if you practice this way. But don't start by practicing the entire 35 minutes. That's a mistake that a lot of students that are preparing for the ACT make. Instead, start off with those mini practices, 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Once you can finish a passage and questions in that amount of time, then it's time to move forward beyond that. And that's how you can successfully score a lot better on the ACT reading section. So I want to thank you for watching. My name's Paul Novak. If you have questions and you want to connect with me by email, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, feel free to do so. Also, if you're interested in our courses on speed reading and memorization techniques, go to irisreading.com. I think you'll find those courses very helpful. So thank you again for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Any senior that is wanting to attend cosmetology school can apply for the Beauty Boutique Scholarship. This is a $1,000 scholarship that will be awarded only once. You must be a full-time freshman accepted to a cosmetology or an aesthetic program in the state of Tennessee. Qualifying students must be residents of Wilson County and full-time students at any Wilson County high school with a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. Please stop by room
B323
or see Ms. McNeil to get an application. Applications are due by April 18th.
FCA has shirts for sale at the bank for $10. The freshman class has long sleeve shirts for $22 and short sleeve for $15. There are also a few comfort shirts left for sale at the bank. They are $15. Let's throw it to Ian with sports.
What's up, LHS? I'm Ian, and this is your sports news. The Preds take on the Penguins in Pittsburgh tomorrow starting at 6:30. Both teams are second in their divisions. Last time these two teams played, the Penguins won, but the Preds do have a better record. Today is opening day for Major League Baseball. The Braves take on Bryce Harper and the Phillies. The game begins at 2. The Cincinnati Reds take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their game begins at 3. March Madness starts back up tonight with the first game beginning at 6:10. This is the first game of the Sweet 16. The Vols begin their game at 6:30 against Purdue. The winner of the game plays the winner of Virginia and Oregon in the Elite Eight. Tomorrow, the Vols and Vanderbilt baseball teams start their 3-game series beginning at 6:30. Both teams so far are really good this year, so this will be a good series. The Blue Devil Rugby Football Club earned their first win of the season by defeating Warren County 22-15. This is the first time ever that the club has defeated Warren County. Please congratulate Kamari Orange, Alex Clemens, and Fisher Bradshaw on scoring. The girls' tennis team defeated Mount Juliet yesterday 5-2, and now has defeated Mount Juliet 2 years in a row. Winning matches for LHS were Sophia Skelton, Emma Claire Minter, Chloe Hatfield, Hannah Lawsett, and Lulu Hershey. Next up is Macon County today on the road. I'm Ian, and this has been your Sports News.
Thanks, Ian.
The math lab room is open from 2:30 to 3:15 in A104. If you need help for any math class or ACT assistance, come stop by. Students can bring homework, quizzes, practice problems, notes, or anything else they need to work on.
Students, there are only a few days left to get your prom tickets. The deadline for purchasing tickets is this Friday, March 29th. Tickets can be purchased at the bank or online. Also, any student taking a non-LHS student to prom this year needs to pick up a permission slip at the bank. There must be a completed and returned along with a copy of your guest photo ID by Friday, March 29th.
Prom royalty nominations are now open through 3 p.m. on Monday, April 1st. Visit the school announcements on the LHS website to access the online nomination form. Students can now sign up for the lip sync battle hosted by the Blue Devil players on April 26th. There is a sign-up sheet on the auditorium doors. Groups can be no more than 5 people.
Cheer tryouts will be April 10th through the 12th in the small gym from 2:45 to 4:30. Packets can be picked up in B203. That's all we have for the news today, LHS. I'm Elena.
And I'm Thomas. And
This has been News to You from the White and Blue.
Come on, my heart is beating like a drum.